What is going on, guys? It's the Anime Jaguar here, or you can call me AJ for short if that is a tongueful for you. And today we're going to stop and rank all 8 films of the Silver Age, from the worst to the best. I'd like to talk Disney with you down below in the comments section. Please share your ranking of the Silver Age films. I also have a playlist of the other Disney eras I have ranked so far. It should either be in the box icon or in the description below. Like and subscribe. With that out of the way, let's rank the Silver Age. Number 8. The Sword and the Stone. At the start of production, several of the important animators at the time were not fans of the film. In the early 60s, the 9 old men, along with additional animators, had worked several months on making an animated version of Chanticleer, with storyboards, melodies, and massive paintings. The only animator that wasn't sold on the project was Disney's iconic storyman, Bill Peet. He would regularly condemn their Chanticleer job and would go to work by himself on a concept of his own. His concept was a joyful version of the once and future king. By the time they presented their effort to Walt Disney for their next film, Walt said the Chanticleer concept looked awful, but he likes Bill's idea. And this was Bill's idea, The Sword and the Stone. And out of all the anime movies released by Walt Disney himself, this one is definitely one of the weakest, but it's still not a bad film. It's still a solid film, but that's why it's at number 8 on this list. Number 7, Alice in Wonderland. Before it came to become the most famous adaptation of the excellent Lewis Carroll books, it started as a decades-long pursuit for Walt Disney to make an Alice film. As Disney lovers may know, Walt had a long history with the novels that began as a child. There were multiple moments where he wanted to make a complete movie. There were even times when he contemplated doing it with a live-action Alice in an animated Wonderland, like he would do with the Alice comedies. He felt like the only way to do it justice is to make it completely animated. He considered making Alice in Wonderland his first film before Snow White. He even hinted at the project in Pinocchio, but it was delayed due to World War II. Fortunately, he was able to begin production once World War II ended. It may not give you your perfect fix of Lewis Carroll, but it can deliver a fulfilling amount of Disney. Number 6. Peter Pan. I always said that Peter Pan was every preteen boy's imagination. You have pirates, flying, Indians, distant lands, and mermaids. If they somehow incorporated in cowboys and spacemen, this film would be set. For what the story is, Disney does it skillfully. They of course modified some things every now and then, but they still get the attributes of each character down perfectly. Peter Pan himself is arrogant and confident of himself, but I have to remember that he was a product of the time. You can tell by the voice and the way he looks that this movie was made in the 50s. At least there are no pop culture references. Wendy is played by Catherine Beaumont. She is your generic naive character that is delightful. I'm shocked that Disney didn't use Beaumont more after this movie. You also have John the nerd and Michael the adorable and innocent. They all go on a journey to Neverland and encounter Captain Hook, Indians, and of course, Tinker Bell. Number 5. Sleeping Beauty. This film always surprised me in what a huge heroic disarray it is. The animation is distinct compared to what came before. The environments don't look three-dimensional, but they're not supposed to. It's supposed to be like tapestry or artwork you would see in a prehistoric castle. It was a unique perspective, and it looks pleasant, but I can see why some people might find it distracting. The fairies are prominent. They have to conceal Princess Aurora for 16 years to keep her away from the wicked Maleficent, who is splendid. She is one of the best Disney antagonists. I would have her in my top 3, no questions asked. It's an antagonist that's developed completely from the voice acting and the animation. Her aspirations are implausible. She gets humiliated at a gathering, and that's it. The extreme she'll go to get vengeance is imposing. This is a lopsided movie, but the things that work effectively work extremely well. The fairies and bad guy are grand. The animation is awe-inspiring. The confrontation at the end is tremendous. Number 4. The Jungle Book. The Jungle Book was the last anime feature that was made while Walt Disney was alive. This is fascinating because the 2 movies that would be released after his death would reuse an incredible number of animation from it. In terms of Disney animated features, this is in the top 20 for me. I'm not the biggest fan of the scrappy design of Disney animation from this era. They usually look like pencil drawings that were colored over, and it rarely looks complete to me. If you're a fan of it, I'm glad you can enjoy something more than I did. It doesn't do much for me. This is loosely based on Rudyard Kipling's book of the same name. Nothing stands out to me from this Jungle Book. I actually prefer the 2016 live-action remake. The original book is darker and more compelling. The way the animal world views the human world is an interesting analysis. The characters are also more developed in the novel. It follows Mowgli through a coming-of-age story. If Disney went more towards that route, it could have been one of the best Disney films of all time. But still, it's good enough to make number 4 on their golden age, so it's still a pretty good movie. Number 3, Lady and the Tramp. Lady and the Tramp was one of the first films I remember watching. Of course, as children do, I adored it. This is a story of a noble female dog that stumbles across a male hound dog that's about as generic as it gets. They despise each other at first, but a few scenarios push them together, and as they spend more time together, they determine that they were meant to be. This is an adorable Disney movie. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it keeps your attention. The story is predictable, and the animation isn't amazing. For what it is, it's a sufficient movie. It gave us the classic Siamese song that people still remember today, for better or for worse. There isn't a clear bad guy, but I think that makes the film better. There are a few cliches, but they are minimized. This feature is just a sequence of meaningful moments. Number 2, 101 Dalmatians. There are a few things that stand out from this feature. The antagonist, Cruella de Vil, who has transformed into one of the most well-known antagonists of all time. She is entertaining, and her design is a feeble, brittle woman under a huge, bushy, grotesque fur coat. She's both elegant and ugly at the same time. She is continually shouting and hollering while attempting to look tremendous. Her goal is to get as many Dalmatian puppies as possible to make multiple fur coats. The climax is an exciting car chase that is unusual for Disney. I like how the vehicle continues to get stripped down. It almost turns into just as big of a beast as Cruella herself. It doesn't have the charm that other Disney classics have. The animation was innovative at the time, and they were experimenting with rotoscope, so they obviously hadn't mastered it yet, and I'll give them that. And if they had, I think this could have been number 1. If you love dogs, you will most likely adore this film. Number 1, Cinderella. Cinderella is every young girl's dream come true. After all of the package films, this was a triumphant return to a regular story composition. Cinderella tells the story of a young lady who's been transformed into a housemaid by her stepmother and her wicked stepsisters. Her animal companions assist her and attempt to keep things cheerful. When the night of the ball approaches and she is unable to go, her fairy godmother appears and hands her a dress and carriage to make it out there. You could definitely tell that they're trying to go with a Snow White-like movie. You have the gorgeous lass, the animal comrades, a lifelike person as the main character instead of an animal, and the immoral antagonist. Cinderella is one of those Disney features that gets criticized for being anti-feminist, but Pinocchio actually started the trend. I never thought Cinderella was that bad because I saw a lot of tolerance with her. She didn't do anything, but simultaneously, the fact that she was willing to put up with so much while also finding contentment in her life is a good message. This film has some great moments, great songs, and a refreshing antagonist. The animation is magnificent as well. I love the scale that they give all of the buildings. They make the castle seem huge, and this was before widescreen. It's the return to the typical fairy tale, and it is done well. The plot problems are just a sign of the time. Be sure to check out the playlist I mentioned earlier with my other Disney eras rankings. If you like this video, there's something else in there that you will enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.